These harms that happen in residential school are real, and it's still haunting us today.
Their doors may have closed decades ago, but the intergenerational trauma caused by residential schools is still having an impact on Indigenous communities today.
You know, the health and social issues that we face in our community, you can see them, you can feel them.
In Greater Victoria, Indigenous people represent less than 5% of the general population, but 1/3 of the homeless population. The rate of suicide among First Nations youth in BC is 4 times higher than non-Indigenous youth. And in Canada, although just 4% of the adult population, Indigenous people account for 30% of all incarcerations. Incredibly, survivors like Eddie Charlie blame themselves.
It's people like me that created alcoholism and violence in our community, and I will always have to carry that with me for the rest of my life.
After years of physical and sexual abuse at KUPER Island, Charlie says he became an alcoholic on the streets of Duncan by just 11 years old. Melvin Jones also turned to drugs and alcohol to try to numb the trauma he experienced at the NANAIMO Indian Hospital. He says it directly impacted his children.
And to this day, I keep on saying, I'm sorry. That wasn't me.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Many survivors say they came home not just in pain, but with no skills, no sense of value, and no connection.
We never got to experience the word love. We never got to experience a hug from our parents or grandparents.
All the things that are basic human rights were stripped away.
After the remains of 215 children were discovered at the Kamloops Residential School, survivors are hopeful the country is finally listening. And they share their heartbreaking stories with one simple request.
I want them to hear our truths and to be so, compassionate about our experiences.
And for their children to be raised and praised and honored.
Now that our children are found and things are coming to light, we're going to only use it as a tool to be stronger, to raise our children up in a good way, in a strong way, to be who they are.
And they just ask the rest of the country to be there in support as they begin the long journey toward healing.